Welcome back, folks. This is the 2023 edition of the Roller Coaster Award Show. I'm Greg, your host. I like roller coasters, and I have a YouTube channel, so why not use it to tell you about my incredibly bad takes on roller coasters. So, without further ado, let's get started. This year was an incredibly boring year for roller coasters, okay? There were absolutely no new rides or changes this year. No major rivals merged this year, none whatsoever, and there weren't any, and I mean absolutely any, human rights violations going on whatsoever. I visited 13 parks this year, and I rode 75 brand new coasters, new to me at least. My total credit count as of this year is 179. This is when you're supposed to clap for me, right? Thank you so much. Thank you. 179. Wow, that's a pretty big achievement. Okay, the first category we're going to go over this year, the first award we're going to hand out, is the same award that started off last year's show. If you haven't seen last year's show, go watch it. I don't care. This category is I understand why this ride is so loved. So it's a ride that other people just won't shut the fuck up about. Yeah, there will be cussing in the show, kids. Hopefully your parents have already left you with the iPad and you're good. We're just going to rock this one out. I understand why this ride is so loved. Is it Velocicoaster? I rode that for the first time this year. Wow, what a great ride. Millennium Force. First time I ever rode that this year. Wow, what a great ride. People love their Millennium Force, right? Is it going to be El Toro? Hey, Ryan. People won't shut up about El Toro either, and I rode that for the first time this year. All three of those are great choices, but I'm going to go with a little bit of a curveball because it doesn't win any other awards. Spoiler. Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. I understand why you're so loved. You're a great ride. You're a lot of fun. You keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And that's great. I just spilled drink on the ground. Steel Vengeance, you're awesome. I understand why you're so loved. Thanks. All right, moving on. Best Halloween event. If you know me, I love Halloween. A lot. A little bit too much. It creeps people out. I understand that. I still love Halloween. I don't know what to tell you. It's your problem. All right, best Halloween event. I went to 4 Halloween events this year. Carowinds, Hallow Scream at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Orlando, and Kings Island, Halloween Haunt, whatever it's called. It was tough to pick a winner, but I have to give it to Carowinds. You come in dead last. It's not even worth really talking about, but I got so mad making this stupid award show. I actually had to write a separate index card on why Carowinds is so terrible. First of all, the scare actors in all 4 of these events were perfect. Every scare actor I encountered, this has nothing to do with you guys. Thank you so much for your seriously hard work. This has nothing to do with you. The reason I hate Carowinds, if anyone from higher up at Carowinds sees this, Carowinds is terrible this year. It has fallen down so much and it is embarrassing. I'm breaking character right now to get mad at you. The mazes are understaffed. Where's your staffing at? Pay them a decent wage. Market it. Get people hired. What are you doing? Stagnant theming. How many more fucking decades are we going to have to sit through with Slaughterhouse? All right, Slaughterhouse changed for like 2 years, and then it went right back to Slaughterhouse. It sucks ass. I'm tired of it. Paranormal Inc. in the most unique haunted house, definitely at Carowinds. Half the scare actors were part of the paranormal team. There was no one in there actually scaring. It was just every time you turn a corner, it's another paranormal investigator telling you, oh, be careful, get out. The star moment of the entire maze at the very beginning, I'm not going to spoil it, but you know what I'm talking about. I went through the maze twice this year, and I didn't see that moment happen once. And I want to believe you took it out of the maze for whatever reason, only you know. So Carowinds gets 1 out of 5 stars. It's absolutely terrible. The parade that they had going around, the parade was empty. The floats were empty. They literally had a parade go through the park. The floats were completely empty. There was nothing on the floats. There were no scare actors walking around. There were people guarding you from walking into the path of the parade. There was nothing going on. What are you doing? Not only that, there's no circ event whatsoever anymore. There's no circus acts or anything like that. It's just a boring event. Carowinds, you need to fix yourself. Seriously, it's boring. Back in the day, like in 2015, they had Skeleton Crew, which I believe is at Canada's Wonderland now. They had a guy who was the #1 rated seer wheel in the entire world. Like, this guy was the Cedar World Champion, and he was performing at Carowinds. But yet, since then, Carowinds has been declining every single year and getting worse and worse and worse. You need to figure your stuff out. Seriously, it's embarrassing. All right, back to the jokey jokes here. Okay, best Halloween event. Definitely not Carowinds. Look, Busch Gardens Tampa Bay, Hallow Scream was fantastic. It really was. They had an awesome Cirque event. I think it's Cirque X Scream, I believe, was the show. It was an excellent show. It really was good. The mazes were good. The actors were great. Staff was great. I enjoyed my time a lot. It's just that's how good the other two events were that I have to give Hallow Scream third place here. Next up, and this one was kind of tough. It's really hard for a theme park to really compete with traditionally more of an amusement park like Kings Island. So I have to give Kings Island second place, which is a hard decision, right? It really is. Kings Island is a fantastic place. The atmosphere was perfect. The actors were great. The houses were great. I think there was only one haunted house that I really didn't enjoy. It just kind of seemed thrown together. The rides at night were great. Operations was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic event. However, just Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Orlando is just on a whole nother tier. So I have to give Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Orlando the win in this category for the best Halloween event that I went to this year. And look, it really is tough because Kings Island alone, without Halloween activities going on, it's kind of a spookier park, right? They've got rides that are kind of themed around the spooky, right? They've got Banshee, which is an awesome B&M Invert, and it's like built into this like gothic steeple-looking building. The theming of that's really great. They've got Mystic Timbers, which is like a haunted. My cat tried to scare. You see that? Talking about Halloween events, and my cat went crazy. That's how scary Kings Island is. My cat just went crazy there. Anyways, but Mystic Timbers, which is like this haunted lumber mill wooden roller coaster ride. They've got the Beast. They've got the Bat, Flight of Fear. Kings Island is spooky enough already. Then you add the Halloween events. It's top notch. Look, Halloween Horror Nights, they've got the money. They've got the IP. They've got everything kind of going for them. There are some negatives that I had a problem with. First of all, waiting in line for the mazes is miserable, especially alone. I was alone when I was there, and it's like you're just waiting in line. You're just packed in like cattle to the slaughter. I mean, it's really, there's nothing to really look at or do. It's just you're in between nondescript buildings, and you're just surrounded by people, wall-to-wall of people. Even with, and I had express passes, by the way, too. The only really exciting thing to do is to applaud the scare actors when they switch out in the mazes. That's really the only thing that I had enjoyment of waiting in line. I don't know, try to theme your lines a little bit if you possibly can. Do something. I don't know. Halloween Horror Nights also wins out on above the other three in the category because the method of scares I think is really unique. And I never really experienced this because my first time at Halloween Horror Nights. But normally in like Carowinds, Hallow Scream, Kings Island, when you get scared, when a scare actor comes around that corner to scare you, they're really using themselves. So like they're stomping their feet, they're yelling, they're in your face, they're using the set around them and their costume to do a lot of the work. Whereas Universal, it's a different method. I don't know if they have a foot pedal or if they're hitting a button or if the scares are just timed. Like you'll have a scare actor running up to you, and while they're running up to you, a sound cue is playing. So like they had this crazy cool maze, which was like the Yeti Campground Kills or something like that. You're walking through this really awesomely designed campground set. So like you're outside in the campground and there's like tents and stuff. And then you just hear this thunderous charge of a Yeti, and you turn around and there's a 7-foot tall Yeti. This bassy roar is coming out of speakers from somewhere, and it just seems like there's a Yeti yelling in your face, right? Where a human actor would not be able to sound like that and be that terrifying, right? You don't really see that at Hallow Scream or any Cedar Fair or Six Flags Halloween event. To me, I think that just takes it up to a different level, and it's a whole different level of terror. So, yeah, congrats to Halloween Horror Nights. You win Best Halloween Event. Okay. Now we're really going to start cooking with some unpopular opinions here. This is category number 3, Best RMC. RMC is a company, Rocky Mountain Construction. It's a very unique style of how they do it. I really can't explain what it's like to ride an RMC other than imagine if you were riding a roller coaster that really wanted you to stop riding the roller coaster. It's like RMCs are violently trying to eject you from their train. It's very unique. It's very fun. I think they make some really great rides. And I rode a couple of brand new RMCs for this year, including Steel Vengeance. Remember what we said earlier about that spoiler. Lightning Rod, Iron Gwazi, Airy Force 1. Ari Force 1? What's his name? Ari, whatever. I rode some excellent RMCs this year, and Fun Spot has no business having an RMC that great, okay? But, sorry, it is not the winner. I apologize. Steel Vengeance. You already know that's not the winner. I brought it up earlier. Maybe you should pay attention. Go back, rewatch it from the beginning. Look, Lightning Rod is special. Steel Vengeance is special. Airy Force 1, special. However, Iron Gwazi really did it for me. When I'm thinking about this, when I went back and looked through my list and said, okay, which one should win? It was really about how memorable was it. Iron Gwazi, I cannot stop thinking about the death roll on Iron Gwazi. I mean, that stands out way more than any other element on any other one of these RMCs to me personally. The death roll on Iron Gwazi, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure it's playing behind me. I'll try to slow it down while I'm talking about it, but there's a moment where you're cresting this hill, and on the way down, it's this violent barrel roll downward. Iron Gwazi is themed after a crocodile, and so it's this moment where it feels like a crocodile is death rolling, right? Is doing that spin, and it's such a cool, unique experience. It's definitely the most memorable element on any RMC that I rode this year, and so for that reason, Iron Gwazi is going to win Best RMC of the year. Congratulations to Iron Gwazi in Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Awesome ride. Category number 4, most unique. Most unique. What ride did I ride that was most unique? Pretty simple. Stay with me. Mystery Mine at Dollywood. I thought that was really unique. So I don't watch POV videos before I ride a brand new ride. When I walk through to the queue line, I really try not to even look at some of the elements that are going on. And Mystery Mine, I was seeing weird stuff out of the corner of my eyes, like tracks that look pretty twisted up. I just thought it was pretty unique that they kind of use track elements that don't go anywhere within the theming of the ride. And it really kind of, especially if you're really not paying attention, you really expect the ride to be a little bit different than what it actually ends up being. So that was pretty unique, but not the winner. And I got to think, what else could be, so if it's not Mystery Mine, what else could be really unique when I think of unique? Renegade at Valleyfair. It's unique because it's the only good ride at Valleyfair. That's pretty unique. All right. It's an amusement park with roller coasters that only has one good roller coaster. Very weird. Sorry. Yeah, that was some shade. Daredevil Dive. If you thought the last one was some shade, Daredevil Dive at Six Flags over Georgia is the funnest coaster I will never ride again because the operations are so bad on that ride. I don't know if it's a Six Flags problem. I don't know what it is. I understand there's a weight thing, there's a weight distribution thing, but the operations of that ride are atrocious. It's so frustrating to even ride it. I'm good. I'm just not going to ride it again. Sorry. So that's pretty unique. All right, but the winner would definitely have to be Gemini at Cedar Point. This ride is pretty unique. There is a left and a right or red and a blue train, whatever it is. It's a racing coaster. The unique part about this is the only racing coaster that I know of, it's almost like encouraged for you to interact with the other train. And what I mean is you're so close to the other train, you can reach out and give the other train high fives or like momentarily hold their hands. As the coaster is, going about its business, going up the lift hill and like meeting on turns, you can reach out and touch the people beside you. And I think that's really unique. Also, Cedar Point, the operations do a really good job of making sure that the trains are racing. And for the most part, getting them out at the same time. I mean, there might be, a car or two difference, but for the most part, there's always someone there that you can interact with. And I rode it a few times this year. And, there were some trains where people were a little bit more timid. There were some trains where everyone on the train was on board. And it's like, okay, I can get behind this. We were reaching our hands out, high-fiving, really like, doing this rowboat motion, like messing around with the other train, really making it competitive, even though there's really nothing that we can do to win or lose. So I think Gemini is a really unique ride, and it's a really cool ride experience. So if you ever find yourself at Cedar Point, go ride Gemini and try to interact with the other side of the train and have fun. Wow, we are zooming along, folks. This is Category 5, the best wooden coaster. Best wooden coaster of the year. This one, Mystic Timbers, Thunderhead stick out. The Beast at Night really sticks out to me. That one definitely is second. How about that? I'm going to definitely give Beast at Night second. However, the winner has to be El Toro. I really loved El Toro when I was there. There was no wait whatsoever. Front, back. Thought someone tried to open my door. I was about to pull out my coaster credits, if you know what I'm saying. And honestly, I mean, El Toro is pretty easy. That was my first time ever riding it this year. Like I said, operations were great. It's a really fun ride. But not only that, I really do think that El Toro now takes the spot as the number one wooden roller coaster overall for me, not just this year of coasters I rode this year. But not only that, I think the Beast at Night takes second place. So I think my new top 3 wooden roller coaster list, just off the top of my head that I can remember, is El Toro, the Beast at Night, and Apocalypse at Six Flags Magic Mountain. That is my wooden roller coaster top 3 of all time, I think, as of right now. Best B&M Invert. If you know anything about me, you know that I love B&M inverted coasters. My favorite type of roller coaster of all time, right? I don't think there's anything better than a B&M invert as far as roller coasters go. Now, I can argue that like my favorite roller coasters ever are not B&M inverts. I can say that, but I just think that overall, the category of B&M inverts, they're a ton of fun. They're forceful. I love them so much. So this is the best B&M invert that I rode this year. So I definitely have 5 that I rode this year that I want to talk about. Afterburn, perfect. Banshee, perfect. Montu, perfect. Alpengeist, perfect. Raptor, perfect. You kind of get where I'm going with this. They're all perfect. I love them all. However, those 5 that I just listed, I rode all of them this year, and that is my top 5 of B&M inverts. However, I think my new favorite B&M invert, which is a new one to me this year, is Alpengeist at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. I think the theming is cool. The ride is great. It has some really cool, unique elements. I love Alpengeist, and I think it's going to take my favorite B&M invert this year. You know, I mean, of course, I think Montu objectively is a better invert than Alpengeist. I think that, but Montu won last year, so I got to give it up to Alpengeist because honestly, those 5 right there that I just listed, I love them all, and any one of those on any given day can be the top B&M invert for me. I just love them. So, all right, this is a new category this year. Best pretzel. That's right. When I go to an amusement park, I definitely am on the lookout for a pretzel. If a park has a pretzel, I'm going to eat it. There's basically 3 types of pretzels I found. There's the Bavarian shit pretzels that are like, they've been in that glass case for 4 years, and you're just the dumb sucker who decided to buy it. Like, when it was inventoried, they still had to, like, write down inventory on pencil and paper. And so, like, they got to break out this big-ass typewriter to say, like, hey, some dumbass took a Bavarian pretzel because they suck. They're terrible. Then you get like the park made, kind of the unique recipe to the park itself. So I'm talking like your Busch Gardens and Six Flags. Some of them do that as well, where it's like, you know, it's this really doughy, soft kind of pretzel. And then you get Annie Ann's, right? Especially at the Cedar Fair parks, you get the Annie Ann's. And let me tell you, Annie Ann's can't be beat. I really don't think that. I mean, well, I went to Six Flags over Georgia 2 days ago, as a matter of fact. Their in-park pretzel was a 9.5 out of 10. It was fantastic. It was like, it was a salted pretzel, but they also serve like the cinnamon sugar pretzels, which, you know, everyone does except for Bavarian because Bavarian shit. And it was like, you could tell they used the same tray as the cinnamon sugar because like it was a salted buttery pretzel with like a little bit of cinnamon aftertaste to it. It was really good. But Annie Ann's can't be beat. I mean, I had an Annie Ann's at Cedar Point that I still think about. I'll wake up in the morning and say, like, how expensive is a flight to Cleveland? How expensive is a flight to Cleveland today? Because you just want to go. Is it Cleveland? Yeah, you fly in. Whatever. Cedar Point, the Annie Ann's at Cedar Point is going to win Best Pretzel this year. It was a 10 out of 10. It was a banger. And not only that, I went back the very next day thinking, like, surely that was a one-time thing. It was like, there's no chance I get another 10 out of 10 pretzel, and I got a 10 out of 10 pretzel. So I don't know what's going on at the Cedar Point Annie Ann's, but damn, That's a good pretzel. Congrats, you win best pretzel. Maybe you like Bavarian pretzels. You absolute weirdo. Tell me in the comments. Okay, this one's going to be a really quick coaster. It's just kind of a thing to tell you what I'm doing. But this one's most ridden. Most ridden coaster of the year is definitely Fury 325. Carowinds is my home park. You know I have the season-long fast lane. And so September 2nd, I decided to start over on Council Fury. And so I said, like, scrap everything. I'm going to start over from zero. And I'm going to see how quickly I can get to 1,000 rides. So starting September 2nd to now, as of right now, I'm at 129 rides on Fury, I think, since September 2nd. But I've been keeping track of what seats I've ridden. So I want to see how many times I can ride in each seat. And, like, I'm counting how many night rides, how many times, like, something weird happened. Like, we stopped on Lift Hill, or I saw a phone fly out, stuff like that. So yeah, let me know how many times you've ridden Fury 325 or whatever coaster you've ridden the most. I was coming off of the Beast. I need to look this guy up. I was coming out of the Beast one time at Kings Island, and there was a guy with a shirt that said he had ridden Beast over 36,000 times. So I got to look. There's got to be a news story about that guy. But so I saw him at least. That was pretty cool. All right, next up, biggest surprise. If you know me, I love B&M Inverts, but I fucking hate Aero Loopers. All right, Aero coasters, they make some pretty shit ones. They're so rough. I really don't like it. I really don't like having my head bang against these hard-ass foam headrests. I just don't like them. But imagine my surprise when I was at Cedar Point looking up at Corkscrew at Cedar Point, and I said, it's another fucking Aero Looper. I got to ride it at least once to say I did it. I walked onto that ride, and when I came off that ride, I was like, holy, I could not believe it. I had found an Aero Looper that I genuinely enjoyed. Corkscrew at Cedar Point is a great little ride. It's great. There's no weight. The elements are really fun. That hill right before the first loop, how it throws you out of your seat a little bit. It's a lot of fun. I love that ride. It's not a rough piece of shit like other Aero Loopers. So that is the biggest surprise. Corkscrew, Cedar Point, doesn't suck. But that's not sucking is pretty good praise for Aero Looper, in my opinion. Viper, Six Flags Magic Mountain is still the worst piece of shit coaster ever. Speaking of worst pieces of shits ever, let's talk about the worst coaster of this year. Viper is the worst coaster of all time for me, personally. It will always be, and it will never win worst coaster of the year because I will never ride it again after 2022. I'll never ride that piece of shit again. So it'll never win again. So we have to keep going. I almost gave it a pipe scream. I don't know why I rode that ride. I have a problem with like spinning, and it was like a spinning flat ride for children. I have no clue why I rode it at Cedar Point. Garbage ride. I almost gave it to that, but I don't know if it's technically a powered coaster, so I don't know if it is a true roller coaster. So I have to give it to Dragonflyer at Dollywood. Does it honestly deserve worst coaster of the year? Probably not. But this coaster is just a nothing coaster. It does absolutely nothing. Like the hill's not a real hill. The turns aren't real turns. I mean, it's literally you feel the exact same as you do just sitting right here watching this video. You just rode Dragonflyer at Dollywood. Congratulations. I think the biggest problem I had with this is it was the first coaster of the day. As soon as I walked into Dollywood, Big Bear Mountain wasn't open. So I was like, I'm just going to do Dragonflyer real quick. The line was crazy from other people trying to ride Big Bear Mountain and realizing it was closed. It was a long line for a nothing coaster. First coaster of the trip. It was a really big letdown. I had high expectations for Dollywood. I mean, Dollywood was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It was just starting off on that really bad foot. Dragonflyer, worst coaster of the year. The final three of this award show are coming up. These are the big boys. This might arguably be the best category here. Best coaster of the year. Out of all the coasters I rode this year, new and old, which one's the best? All right, so again, we have to put an asterisk on this, just like the worst coaster of the year. My favorite roller coaster of all time that I rode, and I rode it this year, is Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios Orlando. I think that is the best roller coaster ever. It's the perfect amount of roller coaster and theming and really fun. You really don't know what's coming next, especially with that the mid-course brake run. It was a good old spoof. That's what I'm saying. You just have to ride it and find out. I think that's my personal favorite roller coaster ever. That's basically my number one. However, I'm not going to give it to that. I'm going to be unbiased here, and I'm going to go with something I think a little bit more people can agree with. I'm not going Fury 325. Fury 325 at night actually won last year. Not Fury 325 during the day, but at night. That won Best Coaster of the Year last year. It's not going to be Steel Vengeance. Okay, sorry. It's not going to be Iron Gwazi. It's not going to be a B&M Invert. I'm going for a ride that's aggressive, that's fast, fun as hell, and honestly, it's a sleeper to me. To me, it's a sleeper. For a lot of you, it's not going to be a sleeper. Again, I really think a lot of you are going to agree with me on this, so I'm going to disagree. You might have Steel Vengeance or Fury in your top spot. I don't know. Tell me down below what your top 3 are. I do not watch POV videos before I go ride a new ride. I just don't. I think it's a lot more fun to kind of not know what's around the next turn, not to expect an inversion if there's going to be one or if there's a tunnel, all that stuff. I just don't like it. I want to experience the ride in real time while I'm currently sitting on it, strapped in, right? And this ride, I had no clue what to expect, but I was blown away. This ride is Maverick at Cedar Point. Maverick wins the best coaster of the year. Wow, what a fucking ride. Maverick, it's fast. It beats the hell out of you in the best possible way. Look here. Maverick waits in the station, right? Little Johnny gets on. Little Susie gets on. Mom and Dad get on, right? They get locked in. They get checked. Operations gives the all clear. Dispatch. The ride goes up the hill, and it decides, I'm going to fucking hurt these people. It whips the fuck out of you. It's fast as fuck. It's aggressive. It's forceful. It's like, holy shit, this is going to hurt tomorrow. Maverick is such a good fucking ride. It blew my mind. I didn't even know it was themed after a horse, that Maverick is like this untamed wild horse. And it feels like it. It feels like you are like in danger almost in the best possible way. And I mean that it's violent, it's aggressive, it's fast, it's fun, it's memorable. All of those things are good adjectives when describing a roller coaster, in my opinion, right? So absolutely congrats to Maverick. Do you agree? Is Maverick your number one? Is Maverick in your top 10? What do you think about Maverick? Let me know. But that brings me to a very unique category, because when I was on Maverick, right at the end, I thought, wow, what a great ride. But I also had a second thought. And this sparked this entire next category. My thought was, this is the most uncomfortable fucking roller coaster seat I've ever sat in. So, without further ado, our second to last category is most uncomfortable seat. Most uncomfortable roller coaster seat. Maverick almost won. The Intamins get an honorable mention because, good God, those seats suck ass. King Dakar, Maverick, whatever other Intamin you want to talk about, those seats suck. It literally feels like you're straddling a speed bump. Imagine a speed bump like, vertically coming out of your chest kind of thing, and you're sitting on it, straddling it. That's what it feels like on your ass. It hurts. It's not fun. I don't know who designed those seats. Once again, I don't know if I'm too fat. Maybe if it was like lost weight, it would feel better. Or maybe I'm not fat enough. Maybe if like I gained a bunch of pounds, it would feel better. I don't know. Those seats suck. And that made me think, what's the most uncomfortable seat? Is it the Intamins? I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's not. It is not Maverick. However, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking, wait, what if it's not a physically uncomfortable seat? What if it's an uncomfortable seat because of how awkward it is? And I'm thinking Hagrid's, right? Where Hagrid's, you have the motorcycle and then the sidecar, and no one wants to be a little bitch in the sidecar, okay? Everyone wants the fucking motorcycle, but they do this to where it's like, if you're a single rider and there's another single rider you're getting paired up with, you're going to have to bully that person. And if that person's a small child, you're going to have to bully a small child, which, hey, I'm not opposed to it. You're never going to see them again. By the time they've told their parents that you bullied them, you're long gone, baby. You've made it right, and you're disappeared into the crowd riding off to the fucking sunset. But I'm just saying, why does it put you in the position to where you have to bully a fucking child? Pretty fucking weird. So anyways, I thought about, is that the most uncomfortable seat? Okay, why can't they be like Dark Coaster, where it's like both seats of the fucking motorcycle, or Wave Runner thing, whatever the fuck it is? Why can't it be like that? That makes way too much sense, Greg. I know. Sorry. Then I thought about, okay, what about a ride, some of the rides that make you fucking straddle another human being, like Reptilian, where you have to wrap your fucking legs around another grown-ass adult. Or Dudley Do-Right's Rips All Falls at Universal, right? You literally are clamping your legs around another person you don't even know riding a water ride. It's fucking weird. It's uncomfortable. But even that, I was thinking, doesn't compare to the winner of the category, the most uncomfortable seat, which is Jersey Devil Coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure, better known as Leg Cramp the Ride. Okay, this ride, you're literally like cramped in and like your legs are spread apart. I'll try to find some pictures. Your legs are spread apart and you're kind of like straddling over this hump thing, and your legs are like bent and cramped, and it literally gives you the worst leg cramps ever. I rode that twice in a row, and like the first one, I started to feel that cramp coming. The second time through, like by the time I reached the lift hill, this is probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been on a ride. Like I would rather have been off the ride than on it, which is saying something because the ride itself was fun. It's a fun single rail coaster. It's unique, but that ride fucking hurts. So yeah, I don't know how you fix that. RMC, that's also an RMC. I don't know how RMC is gonna fix that, but damn, we're at the end of the drink, and also the end of the show. Good timing. I know. This category is the big shebang, the big sheboygan. It's been a year. I just remembered that last time the winner of this category gets the octopus trophy because it's what I had immediately beside me last time I recorded it, and I just about forgot. But anyways, Kings Island did not claim their octopus trophy, so fuck them. They're not going to win Best Park. We're going to continue. We're going to give it away to another winner this year for Best Park. The category. All right, this is tough. It really was. Kings Island won last year, and honestly, I went to Kings Island again during their Halloween event, so I had an absolute blast. I'm really thinking about giving it to them again, although they did not collect their trophy. Cedar Point, as a whole, could easily win as well. And I'm talking about, I know it's not fair to judge a park to like say Best Park Award and then kind of judge things from like a resort standpoint, because Kings Island is lacking that. I didn't stay on Kings Island. I just stayed at Holiday Inn, whereas Cedar Point I stayed at Hotel Breakers and right on the beach. You get to walk along the beach right up to the park's entrance. You can relax at the hotel, smoke a cigar, read a book, then just walk into the park. I thought Hotel Breakers was fantastic. The restaurant was good. The staff was great. It's really top notch. And Kings Island just doesn't have that. On that same note, Universal Studios Orlando, the resort as well. I stayed at the Sapphire Falls Hotel. A big thing with me is the water taxi, right? It's such a meaningful thing. I remember going with my family multiple times to Universal, and it's like taking the water taxi. That's always been like a really great memory for me. And so to go back this year and to be able to take that water taxi again, it just does it for me. Orlando, the city, just does not exist outside of Universal. I think that's really special. Whereas, Cedar Point, it's still like I had to take a rental car and I had to, I needed to get groceries and things like that. Whereas like Universal, it's everything that you needed was there within the resort, right? I took a shuttle straight from the airport, took water taxis to the park. There's restaurants on property, in the hotel, at City Walk, all that stuff. There's 2 great theme parks there, about to be 3. I have to give it up to Universal Studios Orlando for the best park. Again, I might say that Cedar Point or Kings Island is better just from wanting to spend the day riding from a roller coaster standpoint, certainly than Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios. The theming, of course, is better at Universal Studios, but Kings Island and Cedar Point really, really do have a great, fantastic lineup of roller coasters, right? But the Octopus Award, we include the resort stuff here, so we're judging it on a complete package, because that's what I'm thinking of when I'm there. When I'm there, it's like, I'm not, how am I going to judge this at the end of the year? It's like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm judging it right then and there of I'm having a blast, and it's because of the things that I do on top of great roller coasters. And so, Universal Studios, you just won the Octopus Award. Come pick it up, you lazy fuckers, because I'm not shipping it. All right, anyways, that does it for the 2023 Roller Coaster Award Show. I really hope you had a good time. I had a great time. My cat had a great time. She does not like it that I just threw her octopus toy, let me tell you. All right, anyways, that does it for me. All right, 13 great categories, 13 great winners. Carowinds definitely is the loser of the entire, 14th category. Biggest loser of the entire award show goes to Carowinds. Figure your shit out. All right, thanks, guys. I'm going to have vlogs coming from my future roller coaster trips and some trips that I still need to finish from this year. If you happen to see me in the park, tell me you saw my roller coaster award show. That'd be fucking hilarious if I saw that. I would genuinely get a kick out of that. So if you see me in the park, say hey, like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends. Tell me below where you disagreed and where you agreed on any of the categories. However, if you disagree with me on Aero Loopers, that they are shit roller coasters, I will block you. So don't even waste your time. Other than that, love you guys. See you next year.